hopefully.
I mean, Eddie, we've gone back and forth with emails, and Eddie's got a pretty good handle what the recycling committee basically will have to do this summer on their part to get this ready. Greg and I have had a brief discussion in terms of what town hall will have to do to get ready. We have yet to done any kind of more financial projections than what I shared with you as of late in terms of what is the actual bag per household per year. We'll know that after 1 year in operation.
So you estimate how the first year, and then you,
Yeah.
if you get a good,
We'll have stabilization. We'll have stabilization money.
Yeah, stabilization.
Reserved to fill some holes. Yep.
Yes.
Well, I just, when we met 2 weeks ago, there was talk about the recycling committee wanting what's best environmentally. Right? I want to point out that even when we were doing the drop-off center 15 years ago, we're interested in something that makes sense financially, that's going to sustain itself. Not, that's why we went drop-off to begin with, not curbside, because we thought the town was, we didn't want to have to go backwards. We want to have something that's going to be sustainable. So when Dave's saying we want pay as you throw, yes, that's going to promote recycling, and that's what we want. But we're also cognizant of the fact that it's got to make sense. I just want the board to be aware that we're not out there just grabbing the trees and we want more recycling, and we're trying to do something that's viable for the town, that's going to make sense, whether it's stabilization money, and I sent Dave an email today, we think about what maybe we should look at the stabilization as our safety net. And no matter which program we take, that's our safety net. Why spend it as a subsidy? Let's hold it, because we might, you get a rainstorm like last May, not even we don't know what happened in October, but we know last May with the rains, we got an influx of, people had to clean out their flooded basements, so we got a spike.
The stuff was wet and waiting.
Yeah, well, that too, but it's just, but that's the type of thing that I suggested to Dave today, is that maybe we can save that stabilization from Neswick for those type of events, those 100-year storms that happen every 3 or 4 years. So I just want the board to understand that the recycling committee's not coming in just from an environmental standpoint, but we're also very much aware of working with the financials too.
I can see holding the stabilization fund until for the first year, while we figure out what's going on. But after that, I don't know that I can set that money aside for forever. Some people deserve to have that, offset some of this cost.
Well, the bulky item thing, I'm assuming is part of pay-as-you-throw, that bulky items will be part of the current white goods.
Yeah, they'll either come in here to pay for a sticker or something, or they'll pay JAR directly. My preference is the latter, because it takes it out of our waste stream totally.
Mr. Beaman?
I guess I'm not assuming that, Bob, because we haven't had a discussion on it yet. Matter of fact, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind doing this, but I didn't know we were going to discuss this tonight at all. Because I have some serious concerns on the bulky item, whatever we do or change. Part of that's going to be, what is a bulky item? Is it something that doesn't fit in that? Of course, this is not for tonight, I understand that, but when we have that.
We'll define everything.
Yeah, I mean, is a bulky item something that doesn't fit in that bag? I just don't know. So I'm going to have some concerns over that. From what I heard about, if in fact we did change it so you had to pay for every bulky item, there'd be no concern for a flood, because they're going to have to pay to have that living room set removed.
Right.
As far as holding the stabilization money. Yeah, on the rug. I mean, there's a lot of issues here that I still think have to be addressed. The only one I will tell you right now I'm leaning towards going along with is that hybrid pay-as-you-throw. The bulky items, I'm pulling the reins back. I'm not making any decision on that yet until we have a discussion on it, because I just haven't heard enough on that.
Okay, well, I don't think the board was prepared to
No,
make
we
any
weren't.
decisions
No.
anyway. You're just providing the board some
I
information.
just wanted to look back, finish the conversation and continue. You needed to hear it all, and we're fine.
Any other questions, Mr. Hamlin? Are you, got any other
No, I don't.
items? All right.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. legal bills. Oh, we only did May.
Yeah, we only did May.
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't go into June. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve legal bills through June 13th, 2007, in the amount of $1,717.30 as follows. Copeland and Page PC General, $1,639.80. Copeland and Page PC Labor, $77.50. For a total of $1,717.30.
Motion made by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Greg, are we going to get an additional June bill, I think, right?
Yes, we
Use one day, they'll have it before the 15th.
Right.
Okay, town-owned land. Annual municipal review. I think Mr. Vallapaz has prepared substantial amount of information. How did you
Let
proceed?
me introduce, the annual review is something that's done every spring, and the letter was sent out to all departments, boards and committees that have interest or custody of town land, and the letter was sent back on May 21st to the Community Planning Commission, Conservation Commission, Housing Partnership, Housing Authority, School Committee, Finance Committee, Land Utilization Committee, Recreation Committee, and the Department of Public Works. And all of them were asked to respond back in terms of their interest in any of the town properties. And you have a compilation, a summary that shows you what those responses were. And to a great extent, some departments are interested in every piece of property, and other departments are interested in very few pieces of property. I think it's pretty much consistent as you go through the board is that that's the trend that we have. But what we also have done is provided you with a listing of those individuals who have either indicated a interest in acquiring town property, and there are 5 or 6 parcels depending upon how you count it. The 3 at Martin's Pond that the gentleman had come in a month ago and approached you on. And then there are 3 additional properties that are scattered throughout the community that residents have come forward in the last several years indicating an interest in acquiring, and those properties are still available, so there's been no action taken on those original requests. In addition to the parcels that individuals have indicated an interest in acquiring, you'll see that there is also a piece of property that Mr. James Dimitri of Contemporary Realty Trust has indicated that he is interested in donating to the town, and there are accompanying letters from the CBC, the Recreation Department, and the Conservation Commission indicating the levels of support for accepting those donations. And we will inquire of town council in terms of the proper manner to do so, whether it's a vote of town meeting or an action of this board. But if you would be in favor of that, would be the direction that we would go in. And so the remaining questions before the board is its desire to either sell these properties to the individuals or open them up for public auction or public bid, as the law provides we need to do. Lastly, a copy of the board's policy that was adopted back in 1975 and then amended in 1984 has been included, and it includes a listing of the town's procedure for disposing of property that is acquired, including the sale of tax foreclosed property. And I think it's appropriate to go forward now because any actions for sale may require submission and approval of town meeting on some of the lots.
Can I ask you a question? Just one second.
Sure.
Just on the spreadsheet,
Yes.
just before I forget, what would be of interest to me in the future, when we go through this next year, could you, any changes to this sheet on the spreadsheet, could you make the change in a color or underline it or something?
Absolutely.
Because I mean, to me, I don't think this document changes for the most part, which means that it's just lying there.
Yeah, probably the only department that regularly updates us and drops land on and off would
would be Park and Recreation. They seem to be the most active in terms of, and then the CPC would be not as active as Parks and Rec, but Parks and Rec is pretty diligent about looking at each parcel on an annual basis. But we'll be happy to do that in the future.
Just to get some idea of, maybe we should talk to some of these groups, you know, like conservation. Maybe they put a yes on everything that's got a little wetland on it. Go ahead, Phil, sorry.
You know, I'm went through the material you provided. On this donation, I have a couple of questions on the donation, but one of the questions I have is that the recommendation from the Conservation Commission was, to me, a bit confusing. They say that you unanimously support acceptance of 2 of the 3 parcels. Is that suggesting that they are saying not to accept the third, or they just, I don't think I understand what that meant. It's read through the whole thing, and it doesn't really, I'm not clear what they're suggesting we only accept 2 of them, or are they saying that they liked the, I don't really know what that means. Is there a reason they don't accept the other third one?
There was something about it.
There is, but they didn't say why.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
They didn't
Oh,
say
I
why.
saw something about a, what was I reading?
Is it something we should know about? Yes, right.
Well, we don't have to take it either, you know.
No, we don't. Why wouldn't we take it? I mean, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, why
would
would we take it either?
I don't know.
Right now, it's other tax funds.
No, why, yeah, no, that's why I said,
No,
why
no,
wouldn't
I
we
mean,
take
maybe,
it?
but I'm just
I don't think
wondering
you
why
heard
they're
me.
saying.
I said, why wouldn't we
If they're
take it?
saying, if that's what they're saying, I'm not sure that's what they're saying, but, you know.
I don't necessarily see a reason to take this time.
You know, other than if it's worthless property, then we have to, that's what, and they stop paying on it,
Yeah, right.
you're gonna end up with it anyway.
Well,
It's one of those,
Yeah,
as a result of the
we- we
development or
probably,
anything else,
yeah.
you're gonna end up with, the town's gonna end up owning it one way or the other.
Right.
So you can either take it by way of a gift, or you can wait till they stop paying taxes on it, and you just end up taking
And I'm
it.
taking it.
Just taking it.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So,
But I mean, I just like to know, I mean, you know, I could see reasons why you wouldn't want to take it, and it would be like, for instance, suppose it's, you know, it's contaminated, right? I mean, absolutely, it's contaminated, we don't have anything to do with it. So, you know, but that, you know, I think this memo's unclear.
Well, let's put that aside and take a look at the land that people are interested in. You would have to still go out and get bids on the
You
land.
would do a public process for sale of any town property, and that's either through an auction or through a sealed bid.
So, the letter from Mr. Furling and the letter from,
Mr.
stapled
Fothergill.
together, Mr. Fothergill, we've already discussed.
Yes.
Everyone is aware of that.
I would just want to point out that, as far as other departments' responses on those properties, the, this here, just a second. The Housing Partnership and the Conservation Commission has indicated interest in those properties. And interestingly, the Department of Public Works has flagged lot 257, and I don't specifically know the reason why, but that's a lot that they had flagged as an item that they would have an interest in. They did not indicate an interest in the other 2 properties. 257 is one closest to Marcus
Would
Pond.
that be related to maybe a pumping station that might be required for the sewer?
The town does own a number of parcels in that area, and, you know, my thought was that they probably are all of nearly identical elevation, although I don't specifically know that. My guess is they're probably pretty.
Well, the way to proceed then would be on any lot that